Hi guys, Still Inspector here. In today's video we're going to be going over the best GPU for mining Ethereum. One of the biggest questions asked in the mining subreddits is what the best GPU is. People are always wondering whether to buy a certain GPU and at what price to buy them. In today's market, the prices of GPUs are very inflated. So in this video we'll be going over the prices of these GPUs as of right now instead of the MSRP price, because it's very hard to get it at this price. To mine Ethereum, you need to have a graphics card with a VRAM memory of over 4 GB. We will get into what cards have these in this video, but just know that's why I haven't included some older models of graphics cards. So today's focus will be on Nvidia and AMD cards, because these two are the main companies. There are also other card companies like ones in China, but I've never used them, so I can't speak on how good they are. So, firstly we're going to go over the Nvidia cards and then the AMD cards. I've compiled a spreadsheet with all the information needed on these cards. So here's the spreadsheet. I know it looks like a lot, but we're slowly going to get through it and get through all the information. Right now, I've listed the cards in order of release, but we'll be looking at every column so we can find out what the best GPU is. So, firstly, I want to explain what the columns are. The first column is the price of the card. This is based off an average of what I could find around the internet. This means that this isn't the price at MSRP, it's just an estimate, and not the actual price from the manufacturer. I've done this because it's next to impossible to get these cards at their actual price that they are worth. The second column is the power. This is the power consumption based off my personal overclock settings, so it could vary depending on your overclock settings. It shouldn't vary too far from my figures though. The third column is the mega hash per second, which is also based off my personal overclock setting. And this is what I've managed to push my own cards to. The fourth column is the efficiency of the card. This is calculated by dividing the mega hash per second by the amount of power consumed. In this case, the higher the efficiency, the better. The fifth column is the dollars per day. This is a profit per day, not to be confused with the overall dollars earned. In this case, I used the cost of 18 cents per kilowatt hour of energy, and this is what my energy costs. And in the last column, we have ROI, which is the return on investment. This is how many days it would take you to mine to make your money back from the graphics cards. Now we've gone over the columns, let's get into each of them. So, firstly I'm going to highlight these rows and go over to data and click sort. From here we can sort this list by any of the 6 columns. Firstly, let's sort by price. So as you can see, the cheapest card here is obviously the 1060 6GB, which you can also pick up for around $260. So if you really want to start mining, this is the best entry-level card to get started. This is also the only card that's under $300. Now, if you have a bit more to spend, you can get pretty much all the 10 series and 16 series cards for under $600. The 20 series cards range from $650 to $925. This is a big gap in price, but we'll later get into which one is best for their price. Now, the 30 series is very expensive and will set you back a lot of money, with nearly all of them being above $1,000. The last 3 in the series are very expensive, so if you have the money, these are great picks as their resale value will also still be up there as they are very new cards. So now let's sort these by power. As you can see, the 1660 uses the least amount of power. So if energy cost is a concern, these are very efficient cards. Now I'd consider anything under 150 watts to be a low power card. So as you can see, both the 10, 20 and 30 series cards have low power consumption. So from 150 to 200 watts I would consider normal power consumption. So the only real power hungry cards are the 3090, the 3080 and the 3080 Ti. This also includes the 1080 Ti. So if you have a small power supply, I recommend getting a low to medium watt card. So now let's sort by the mega hash column from highest to lowest. As you can see, the 3090 reigns supreme with a hash rate of 122, then followed by the whole 30 series cards. These 30 series cards are partially LHR unlocked, but not fully, so these figures could potentially be higher. Now we can also see the middle of these cards we have the 2080 Ti, which is very high up there compared to the time that they were made. So after years, it's still one of the highest performing cards. Now below all the 20 series cards, but stuck nearly above the 20 series cards, is the 1080 Ti. I love these cards and continue to buy them just because they get a very high hash rate using the memory tweaks in T-Rex Miner. So in terms of hash rate, the 1080 Ti outperforms nearly all the 20 series cards. Below them is the 10 and 16 series, and these are very low hash rates. Now, moving on to the next column, which is one of the main columns to look at. With efficiency, basically the higher the efficiency, the more Ethereum is mined per kilowatt hour. If you're looking to buy cards, you want to aim for the best efficiency. So let's sort by highest to lowest. At the top, we have a 3070, followed by various 30 series cards. Now, the big outlier in this table is the 1660 and the 1660 Super. These 1660 cards are great for efficiency compared to the price that they are at. Nothing really compares to these cards. At the moment, I've seen their price rising rapidly as many people are using these to mine without having to use loads of power and pay upwards of $1,000. So down at the bottom of the list, we have the 10 series cards, which is expected, as they are older cards with outdated technology. Moving on to the profit column. If we sort this, we can see that the 3090 brings in the most with $5.78 a day. As you go down the list, you can see that the 30 series, then 20 series, then 10 series, which is expected. So now, let's look at the last column, which is return on investment. This is important because Ethereum mining will soon be done. I believe we have around 6 to 7 months until this comes into play. So 7 or 6 months is around 220 days. So if we look at the ROI, none of these will return their price before Ethereum mining is over. But don't worry, there are many factors that come into play, such as the resale value of these cards. So the 1060 is at the top and will nearly ROI before the 7 months. I believe this card won't resell for much, but when it comes time to sell, however, under that is the 1060 Ti, which I believe will resell for a good price. At the bottom, of course, is the 3090, as it's very expensive right now. Also, the resale value might be high, but I don't think it's high enough to justify buying it right now. So now we've gone over all these figures, let's discuss the best GPU to use for mining. I'm going to go with 3 cards from Nvidia. These are the ones that I'd be looking to buy. If you're looking for the best price for money, I'd go with a 1660 Super. These are so efficient and only run off 70 watts. This allows you to fit a lot of them in your power supply. You can even power the riser and the card on one 8-pin splitter. My second recommendation, if you have money, I'd go with the 3060 Ti. These are very efficient and have a very high hash rate. They're also partially unlocked due to LHR, so in the future we could even push the hash rate higher. Now, the 3060 will also have a great resale price. If we say that the price will drop even 50%, then you'd be able to mine around $600 of Ethereum, then sell it for $600, effectively hitting the return on investment way before Ethereum mining ends. Now, my last suggestion to buy is a 1080 Ti. I know they are power hungry, but they are great cards and relatively cheap. They also have a high hash rate compared to the money spent. If you have a larger power supply, you could get 5 or 6 of these on a rig. So, those are my 3 recommendations. Keep in mind that these are cards that I recommended for Ethereum mining, and also ones that will be good for mining other coins in the future. Now we're going to run through the AMD cards. These are slightly inferior to Nvidia cards, and I tend not to buy them unless I can get them for MSRP. I know that there are more cards that AMD produce, but I haven't used them, so I won't just grab figures off the internet without testing the cards first myself. So, we are going to speed this up just by sorting by the price and the efficiency, because those are the 2 main factors. So, if we sort by price, we can see that the cheapest card you can buy is the 5500 XT. These aren't exactly the best cards as they don't produce a high hash rate, but they can be good if you're building an AMD rig on a budget. At the bottom of the list we have the newest card, which is the 6900 XT. This is the reason it's expensive, because it's newer. It also has a very low price compared to the newest Nvidia 3090, which goes for $2,600. So let's move on to the efficiency column. If we sort by highest to lowest, we can see that the 5700 is the most efficient card. This is comparable to the 3080 Ti in efficiency, and it uses nearly half the power of the 3080 Ti, and it costs half the price. The 5700 is a really great card, and if you're thinking of buying a 3080 Ti, I would look into buying 2 of these 5700 cards, as they would bring in a lot more money. Now, the reason that I'm speeding through the AMD part of the video is because I don't normally use AMD cards. I prefer Nvidia cards and only use AMD cards when I can find them for cheap. So I've only got one suggestion for the AMD cards, and this is the regular 3800. I've had a great experience with this card and it's surprisingly efficient. It also has a relatively high hash rate. They will set you back around $1,100, but have a decent ROI time. As they are new cards, they will also have a great resale value in the future. It will also be great at mining other coins when Ethereum 2.0 comes in. So one main advantage that AMD has is that their GPUs are cheaper when compared to Nvidia's. So if you're looking for cheaper alternatives, I would go with AMD Cards. So I know I've missed out on a couple of GPUs from the list, but I do want to touch briefly on the highest hash rate GPU to date. This is the Nvidia A100. This thing is extremely expensive and I don't recommend buying them at all. They are normally used for deep AI learning. I just wanted to put this in the video so you can see what the best GPU Nvidia has to offer. They look incredible and they have a hash rate of around 180 megahash, which is insane. It also takes 250 watts to power it. This gives us an efficiency of 0.72, which is double that of pretty much any GPU on the market. With that efficiency and a huge hashing power, it will bring in $10 a day on its own. Now, the A100 will set you back $10,000, so it's pretty much not viable to buy, as the ROI is around 3 years. So in the future, I believe Nvidia is coming out with the 40 series cards. These ones won't be LHR due to popular demand. AMD will also be coming out with their 7000 series, so in the future, I'll probably have to update this video and revisit it. I'll try get one of these cards when they release and do a review of them. So those are my overall picks for the GPUs. So we have the 1660 Super, the 1080 Ti, the 3060 Ti, and the AMD 6800. These are my cards I'm going to be buying in the future. I hope this video helped you guys decide what GPU to buy. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. If you guys have any thoughts on the video, please leave a comment below.